Okay. How's it going? Yeah, I guess consistency is a thing. So, I should probably find myself... Hey, how's it going? I should probably find myself a nice little way of maintaining consistency. Because I look different. And if everything could look the same, we'd get bored very easily. So, there's always counterpoints for everything. This is my dog. His name is Tucker. He has no teeth. He has no nuts. He's very aware of how kind of moot he is. He's very just look at yourself, Tucker. You don't do anything. Yeah. So, I guess I just say what's on my mind. Playing a lot of Skyrim lately. Skyrim is an interesting experience because it's very receptive of the way you play. So if you are aware of something, the game is likely aware that you are aware of it. And it is I haven't completed the game. Obviously, I haven't gotten to 242 levels, but I have made progress in such a game. It's level 20. Or 23 now. Yeah. What am I doing? It's just I started off. I was like, okay, so second time playing Skyrim. I'm just gonna just do all the alchemy. All the alchemy, we're just gonna see, okay, so, like, all my dollars went to alchemy. It's very poor in actuality, because all I had was a bunch of list of ingredients, and when you start a new character, you kind of don't have them written down, so, yeah. The thing about role-playing is you need to have an idea of what your character is going to be. Now we're talking about something. So, everyone has a character. It's different from your personality. So your character is kind of your morals, whereas your personality is closer to ethics. So if you don't know the difference between morals and ethics, it's very simple. Ethics is what everyone agrees is good. So I talked about murder last time. Murder is bad. Everyone agrees that killing people is wrong. Unless you're doing it in self-defense, and that's the ethics behind it. The morals is what you determined to be your code of conduct. So if my morality involved stealing, let's say I'm a really, immoral person. I have hardly any morals. My morals include not stealing, and sweet roll. Everyone wants some sweet roll in their life, so I steal everything except sweet rolls. Then my morals would be limited to don't steal sweet rolls. But everything else is completely moral for me. So if someone says they're a very moral person, you can likely rest assured that they are not that great of a person. Because that's like saying, yeah, I'm an honest guy, and you don't trust someone that just claims to be honest. Same thing, you don't trust someone who claims to be moral. I would say that there are things that have came from the mind of man that are very relative to the real world. They may not be exactly, we may not have access to the IRL Elder Scrolls where it just tells us all the rules of the game. I haven't even found Elder Scrolls, so I went to the College of Winterhold one time and I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know where these things are. They sent me to some dwarf thing. I'm like, dude, the first time I played Skyrim, those Falmer things scared me to death. I'm not going down there. Yeah, so my I think it was my second character on my second ownership of Skyrim. I played Imperial, and I was like, oh yeah, so what quests do we have? Let's do this one right here. That was not a good idea because that was DLC. If you ever do DLC while you have not completed the game, that's very bad. Because I got to the book after you find the cultist. Like, you go to the cultist. Don't read a book that you've been led to by cultists. So let's talk about Lovecraft. I'm interested in Lovecraft because I think that guy was crazy enough to have some understanding of the world, but did not have any way of making it cohesive enough for someone to understand it. So, the thing about Lovecraft is the cultists in his stories train their minds to understand these elder gods, as they're called, or old gods, you might say. And they train their mind, they look at more and more disturbing things until they feel ready to witness something that is completely out of their perception of what could be real. And what is real is much farther flung than what anyone might know. Take lobsters, for example. Lobsters allegedly see more colors than a human can. These colors simply exist outside the perception of humans. So, when we think about like something like an elder god, I've meditated on it, what Cthulhu might be. It says in some of his stories that it's made out of like a plasma type thing, and when you cross-reference this with something like the chakras, you might say, energy centers, as they might say in Western alchemy. I'm not too sure on Western alchemy. It seems that there's many paths to the divine, and so they train their minds to witness something that's completely outside of their understanding, and it would actually be closer. Did I mention he calls it plasma? It's closer to Akash, which is the Hindu word for space or sky, or what lies behind sky. And it's a very difficult subject to talk about because it's something you could call the space that is making up space. So there's 4 elements, right? We've all watched Avatar because Avatar is a great show. We got fire, water, earth, air, and these coalesce into Akash, also known as space, or probably something else, like just magic. Magic comes to mind. So, or nothing. Nothing is also a great way of putting space into a discernible context. I have no idea where I'm actually going with this. I'm just kind of rambling on. So yeah, we talked about like Alchemy and Skyrim, and I think Alchemy and Skyrim is a lot more like pharmaceuticals or something like that. It's like coffee or something. Like, you drink coffee. I've associated it with being like coffee is like fortify magica. Like, you drink coffee, you get a boost to maybe that's wrong. Maybe I just pulled something off the top of my head. So you drink coffee. What it's going to do is it's going to stress your adrenal glands, so it releases cortisol in a rather small amount, just enough to where you can manage the amount of cortisol you have. And so when you're forced to have cortisol in your system, you're able to handle that cortisol better than if you had not drank a cup of coffee. But it's a double-edged sword. You drink like 3 cups of coffee, like I would when I first started drinking coffee, you're going to get a lot of anxiety. You're going to age a little bit quicker from the increased cortisol levels. So easy does it, but you don't want to gain a dependency on it. That's the thing about drugs, is gaining a dependency. So what happens when you have an addiction is you keep having increasing side effects, with diminishing positive returns, and that's the issue with addiction, is that it's what's the word? Not dependency. It's not withdrawals. It's tolerance. Yeah, tolerance. So you know how when you drank alcohol for 20 years and like one beer doesn't get you drunk. I drink like half a beer and I'm like, thanks for the beer, dude. Holy shit, I didn't buy this. It's kind of the same thing. Okay, so how does this tie back into what's on my mind? What's on my mind has been working hard, trying to find new ways to make money, because I bought this great car, right? This car's great. Thank you, Tulsa Sheriff. Man, I should just shout out Tulsa Sheriff every time I make a video. Never met one of those guys. Anyways, yeah, so just trying to get myself back onto my feet, because let me just tell you, if you give up something useful for nothing, you will be in a very bad situation, because that thing you gave up for nothing helped you a lot more than you might have realized. Basically, don't trade something valuable for something of less valuableness, because if you do that, you will have less overall value, and the more value you have, the more value you can generate. Thank you. Like, comment on whatever topic you thought was most interesting in this video, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you.